of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing, if you would, for invocation. Lord, we invite you into our midst tonight for this meeting and to remain with us throughout. Lord, we ask that you would guide our thoughts this evening, that you would guide our decisions, Lord, that you would have us to make those decisions in the best interest of our residents, that you would cause our decisions and the discussion that we have to be pleasing to you. We ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Welcome our guests here this evening. Well, we only have one, Mr. Kramer. Welcome. Jerry doesn't count. And, our agenda is before you, so if everyone would take a look at that, let me know if there's anything you wish to add or anything you wish to remove from it this evening before we begin. If not, motion to approve it would be in order. To motion or add?
Sean, do we need to add about the Duke, just an update about where they?
We can, yeah.
We can add that under old business, number 2.
The Duke LED project.
Hearing nothing else, motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make
Motion
the
by
motion.
Greg. Second by Bobby. Those in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Moving next to our minutes. You have them there as well. Take a look through those. Let me know if there's any additions, corrections, deletions, anything of that nature. When you're satisfied with them, entertain a motion to approve those.
I'll make a motion to
Motion
approve
by
the
Greg
minutes.
to approve the minutes. Is there a second to that? Second by Joe. Again, any discussion? Those in favor, raise your right hand. All right, motion carries. Our treasurer's report is next on the agenda, and again, you have that before you. If you have questions, now would be the time to get those resolved. Otherwise, a motion to approve the treasurer's report would be in order as well. Motion by Michelle. Is there a second? Second by Leo. Again, any discussion on that? Those in favor, raise your right hand, and that motion carries. Moving next to our law enforcement report. I believe you also have that as part of your packet. No motion needed on that, it's simply for your information, as is the fire department report. We have the chief here if anyone has questions on that portion of it.
Chief, are we out of the burn ban situation?
No, sir. Actually, it would seem that we are still very close to what is considered red flag conditions. We have not had enough rain so far that the winter duff has been able to be blown away, moisturized enough where it's not fragile. But normally, May 1st, the ban would go off. Forestry Service has now issued a point of concern, which is just below the red flag. So if anybody's thinking about burning, I would ask, please give us another week to get some rain in here first.
Yeah, I'm still seeing some around Crittenden, that's why I keep repeatedly asking these questions, so.
Yes, sir.
Don't turn it off, thank you.
Okay, hearing no further comments, we'll move to our volunteer fire department agreement, which again, you have a copy of there. You'll notice, again, we have the chief here with us. It's a carbon copy of what we had last year, I believe, is it not, chief? I thought
Yes,
so.
sir.
So does anyone have any questions on that?
are we doing on our equipment? Is there anything of great concern? Loaded question.
Gas prices. The cost of everything has gone through the roof. Gloves used to be $80 a box, now are $429. Yes, that's when we can get them, and a lot of times we're getting the Chinese brand that is a lot thinner, doesn't last as long. But I don't have to sing that song and dance. Everybody knows that the cost of operation has really elevated quite a bit. Our concern is that we are now getting to the point with our engines that they are 23 and 24 years old. According to National Fire Protection Association, we are looking at a life on those of 25 years. We're not going to be able to do that. Our trucks, we maintain them very heavily. We do a lot of work. I am confident both of them will make it to the 30-year mark, especially since we've got Engine 21, which received a new motor 6 years ago. So we're going to push them beyond the 30. And honestly, if we were to try to buy an engine, they're telling us that they're anywhere from 40 to 64 months out from the point of making a delivery request.
You said 34 to 60 months?
40
sorry,
to 64.
64 months.
And ambulances are just as bad. They're saying 4 years from the time that they place an order before they would be able to deliver. So there are a lot of people that are really trying to balance out their schedule with placing something now and hoping they can afford it later.
And again, is this just supply line issues that, again, we think we're going to subside in the future?
One of the things that a lot of people are not talking about is that, especially within the fire and the EMS business, a lot of small markets, a lot of small suppliers and distributors went belly up. They couldn't maintain, they couldn't keep the money flow, so the market greatly shrunk as far as who was able to provide the product, who was able to do the manufacturing. We at one point in central Kentucky alone had as many as 11 ambulance makers that were constantly bidding and building these trucks. Now we're down to 3. And they are swamped. Supply chains have been disrupted all over the place, and there is no such thing as a simple purchase process anymore. Now, a lot of times people say I'm very pessimistic and blah, 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 but I put the work in to try to find stuff at the lowest dollar, and it has gotten really difficult.
You mentioned your other two, or the regular fire trucks. Any other concern on, I'm seeing an International, it's a 1975 mini pumper? Is that,
The Babe, yes.
but I mean, any of that or the Mack truck, again, that would be necessary if, again, I mean, with the age of those vehicles, I mean, that's pretty far out.
We are required by the Insurance Safety Organization rating system, which comes in and assigns the ISO score for all insurance within our district. Because of the number of 3.5 plus buildings that we have, stories that is, 3.5 stories up, we are required to have either a ladder or an elevated platform. The 73 was a gift from Williamstown and Les Whalen, Mayor Skinner. It satisfies that need, and the truck is neat. It runs, it elevates, it rotates. However, it's going to take maintenance. We're getting ready to send it out within the next 2 weeks because the front brakes need to be completely rebuilt. And while they're out preventive maintenance, we're gonna have them to change every hose that is on it. Because our Christmas parade, we gave the city a front yard decoration for about 3 or 4 days, where we busted a hose, lost all our hydraulic fluid, and couldn't get the ladder in. But it takes the maintenance.
Yeah, well, I'm saying these are almost 50 years old, so it's.
Yes, sir. And we will make do until such time as we can either get a federal grant or we come up with another method to replace it. Again, our trucks are in really good shape because we stay on top of the maintenance. But the maintenance itself is getting rather expensive.
So if we were looking ahead, I would say 2025, we would be probably placing an order of potentially 2025, 2026. If you're looking at 3.5 to almost 5.5 years out, the likelihood of both of those, you know, I mean, I just want to maybe even creating an exploratory
I
system
understand
to
what
try
you're
to
saying,
do the
Councilman.
grants or.
However, I
Just wanna
think
make sure
there's
it's
another
on
way
our
to look
radar.
at it. We have some other pressing issues that we are trying to address. And I hate to admit it, but unfortunately, the volunteers are not there. We are now at the staffing level that is the lowest that it has ever been since the first 6 months that I became chief. And that was in 2010. We have had, because of marriage, jobs, people taking jobs somewhere because of the fire service. We do a really good job of training them. And the next thing you know, they're working for Florence, Hebron, Union. But because of that, we are going to have to look at one day pretty soon, having some at least part-time or paid-on-call personnel. We're now getting to the point where during the daytime, you may sometimes get only 3 or 4 persons. And if you have 1 or 2 of them out of town, it's not unheard of that we're rolling 1 person.
I'm always about looking outside of the box. So maybe I can talk to you afterwards about what we could do that could help. Like maybe buying pizza for them or, you know, something to show, just something to show that they're appreciated and that.
When it comes to the retention of the volunteers, it is historic the way volunteers go. You've got what is called a 50, 33, 25 rule. If you take 10 volunteers, only 5 of them will make it to the 3-year mark. Out of those 5, only 1 will make it to the 5-year mark. We put a lot of effort and a lot of money into training them. But again, these days, volunteerism, commitment to community have very different meanings from when I started at King. Incentive programs, pay per run. We train them, we pay them to train now. Because they volunteer to make the runs, but it's our job to make sure they're trained in what to do. It's just getting difficult. We are not throwing up the white flag by any means, but we have looked at long-term projects and how to handle situations. And there just does not seem to be a clear-cut answer at this time. Any input anybody has, I am willing to listen to, more than willing. Heck, I'll make the coffee and bring some donuts in. I can't do donuts, but sounds good.
Further questions? All right, we need a motion to approve the contract then for an additional year. Okay. Motion by Michelle, is there a second? Second by Leo, is there discussion on the contract? Those in favor, again, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Chief, get you a copy of this as soon as Sean gets it logged in here.
Very good, sir. Thank you, folks.
Okay, next, our ambulance district, and while we got you there, just have at it.
Well, first off, I was not able to get you the financial statement for this month. Unfortunately, the secretary for the board, Jonathan Morrissey, has been really, really busy with the fire commission doing training. So I will have you 2 reports next month, but I do have a breakdown here. We had $22,059.13 as expenditures. We have an ending balance of $128,343. According to the contract with the city of Dry Ridge, we will be able to make our obligation we will make our obligation easily. We made a decision back in February on the ambulance board that instead of the money sitting there, and we do not own anything except for a filing cabinet and a couple of laptops. Everything else we have put into the ambulance contract. So we asked Dry Ridge, we also asked Crittenden Fire Department what they thought their greatest needs were and a wish list. The one we got from the fire department and from the city of Dry Ridge is they needed well, of course they need another ambulance. We can't help them with that. There is such a thing as overstretching your allowance. But they said they needed another heart monitor and another CPR device, which those are the miracles of modern day medicine. We were able to acquire a heart monitor, normally $65,000, and we got it for $18,000. We're now in the process of trying to find not 1, but 2 CPR devices, one for the local fire department, another one for the use by Dry Ridge. Now, we're in negotiation contract with them as far as putting it in that they're gonna have a lease. The ambulance district will retain ownership because the district cannot give property away, but we can lease it. We can include it with the contract that is going to be coming up next year. But the main thing is, now whatever truck rolls out, they'll have top of the line equipment, and everybody will have the same opportunities regardless of which ambulance rolls. The ambulance district has defined itself as improving EMS, not only for the citizens of the city of Crittenden, but all those that may pass through it or be adjacent to it. And this is part of what we have decided to do. I hope the council agrees. We are really pleased that we were able to take this step.
Other questions? Thanks, Chief.
Yes, sir. Folks, thank you.
Okay, that brings us to our, number 5 on the agenda is the seal bid for the Oakwood Drive project. And Sean, if you'll help me, which is which here?
This one, too.
Right here?
Yep, yep.
Is this the first one we received?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Try this one first. I'm assuming that's all that's in there. That's it. Okay, this one appears to be from Hale Contracting. Okay, the total base bid proposal from Hale Contracting looks like $442,520. And there's an alternate of $67,988. What does that mean, Logan? What's the alternate for? 4-2, 520, and what's the alternate for?
That's difference in pavement. We had a pavement here, dense grade, this is full depth.
Okay, so if it's full depth pavement, add 67,988.
Yeah, but you have to take these three items out.
Okay, so that would reduce it, well, it
Just reduce this, and you would take these three items out and add this back in.
okay, all right, but our base bid is 442. Okay, let's see what the next one is here.
That's Hale.
That's Hale Contractor. I'll lay that right there so you all can take it in a few minutes if you want. To study it.
It's the top one there, about a tissue box. So,
Yeah. Grief, that's good. And this one is from, for the Oakwood Drive Drainage Installation Street Rehab Project. From Riegler. Their base bid proposal is 363,298. 363,298. Their alternate is 70,800. 363,298.
And do we know if either one of these contractors are approved through the state like we did, we ran into a problem last time?
At this moment, we do not.
Both of these are.
Both
Yeah,
these are.
You know it? Okay.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
And Riegler is the one that just did the black topping over on the other, some other streets we had.
That was the Eaton.
That was the Eaton, you're
asphalt.
right, you're right.
Yes.
You're right. Okay.
Okay, those appear to be the only two we have
For Oakwood,
for
yes.
that. Okay. So the next one would be the street rehab project for Bingham, Claiborne, Turner, and Ridgeway. This one
Well, lady.
There we go.
Is it the,
That's-
Yeah.
it doesn't show which project it is.
Well, I hope that's what it is, though.
I hope it is.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
No, it isn't. This is for Oakwood drainage.
So they didn't mark that one.
They didn't mark
very
what
well.
this one was for, so this
We've
is
got
an
3 bids.
additional bid
Yeah, for Oakwood.
for the Oakwood drainage project. But when it was given to us, it did not identify which one it was, so we thought it was a street
Nor contractor. I mean, no,
or
it is,
contractor.
yeah.
But anyway, that's what it is. And this bid is from, give me a moment, Pro Innovations, LLC, that's, the gentleman right here.
Mullins.
Mullins. Mullins.
But this is the
This is.
sidewalk project?
No, 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 this is the same one we just did.
Gotcha,
Oakwood.
okay, this is Oakwood also.
Their base bid is, one total bid, believe it or not, 135,920. 135,920.
Winner.
You got it.
I'm not kidding.
Winner.
I'm not reading it wrong.
Can we run it out?
I'm reading it correctly.
They did not include the asphalt and pavement.
That would be about a $70,000 adder, right?
Yeah, that's not complete.
Added to it.
Not complete,
That was for the sidewalk?
No, that was the Oakwood project.
But they didn't put the pavement
They
or
just
the
didn't put, well,
asphalt
and
in
again, the
there.
pavement, we're talking about 70 grand, right?
At least.
yeah, I get that.
And it's got some of the stuff that's time and material. So
Well, that's
we'll have to look at
That's
that.
what you're gonna look at.
Yeah, we're gonna look at
Yeah.
it.
That's still only $200,000.
Yeah.
And who was that again?
That was Mullins, or Pro Innovations.
Pro
It's the
Innovations.
gentleman who owns the supply building up here. Yeah. Okay, now I think we're into the street rehab project, at least it says that we are. And this appears to be from Riegler Blacktop.
You want to pocket knife?
No, I'll work with this thing. I'm afraid I hurt myself.
We got nobody on the hospital, right?
That's a lot of people.
It's going to end up hurting, so.
Okay, this is from Riegler, and it is total bid proposal for the streets that I mentioned, and again, those are Bingham, Claiborne, Turner, and Ridgeway, and of course, it's only part of Claiborne, the county, or the city.
City's portion.
220,564.25, $220,564.25.
$220. 564.
220,564.25. This is from Eaton. Says it is for the same thing. Eaton's bid for the same project, total bid proposal is 251,849.25, 251,849.25.
Those bids are tighter.
Here's only got two of those. Then for the sidewalk renovation, first is Rector, R-E-C-T-O-R Excavating out of Burlington. Get on this first. Okay, their bid for the entire project is $603,300. And finally, the sidewalk renovation is by Riegler. And their bid for the sidewalk project is $669,840. Those are all the bids. And Logan, if you'll take those and let us know from your perspective.
We'll go over them and, we'll come back with recommendations.
Okay. One thing quickly though, do you have any idea if Pro Innovations, are they pre-qualified?
Well, I think
Okay.
they're just now getting into it, so I don't know.
You can check that though, make sure. Okay, 'cause we
On
asked-
Oakwood,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
but there again, they didn't,
I know.
they didn't
but
submit a complete bid.
I'd still like to know.
Okay, I would. Thank you.
Okay, what we'll do is Logan can look at those and he'll make a recommendation to us as to which is the best evaluated bid, and we can go from there, once we get that information back from him.
How long are the bids good for? 90 days, 60 days?
The bids are good for what, 30 days? The bids are good for 30 days?
30
Is that what we advertised? We advertised 30 days.
Did we put a deadline from the day of approval, like when the project had to be complete on there?
Yes, each one have a date to complete calendar days.
Okay. Well, are all of them before the end of this year?
Yes.
So it's gonna be busy in the city of Britain.
But yeah, I'd like to know that when you come back, as far as what their timelines are, they get started on projects.
They were supposed to submit a schedule, I didn't go
Okay,
through there and
that's,
see.
yeah, I'm just saying, when you come back with a recommendation, I'd like to be able to see that, to be able to space that out.
But what
Exactly
we'll
you're
do
talking
is, if
about.
they did submit a schedule, we'll get it submitted.
Yeah, well, that'd be great.
Other questions? Good, okay. Moving then to our next agenda item. You all are aware, I assume, that the code enforcement officer has asked if he could purchase a body-worn camera. I think we discussed that before, didn't we, or did we? Yes, good. And this is a very short policy, just addressing basically, until we learn more about it, then if we need to learn more about it, what we should do, or what we'd expect to be done for the wearing of that. It doesn't require action on your part other than a review and suggestions if you got something you want added or taken out of it. So take that with you, take a look at it, let me know what you think. If you want something added, we'll do something else.
Is there a page 2?
It's front and back, Joe, I think, isn't it?
Page 1 ends in a partial sentence.
There should be another page.
Well, my intention was in front and back.
And that's what I had questions before about,
There is
again,
another page, so we'll have to get that to you.
To be
I will.
continued.
Yeah.
You will have an email on
We
it
can email it to you.
tomorrow, right?
It is still short, though. Not
and
that short,
what,
but it's
what do you
short.
need from us, Jim?
Just
For-
for critique. If you want to leave
Okay.
it the way it is, fine. If there's something you see that you want added, let me know. What I did, I had Danny contact 3 or 4 police agencies,
Mm-hmm.
and then I condensed them as much as I could, because there are certain records that must be retained by law. so
And that's
there's no
what I
sense
was-
writing that down.
And that's what my original question was on this, and again, it leads right into that second page, right? When we get that, we'll have an understanding what, all right.
And there are other things that are required by law to be done, and we're not going to just redo, because if you redo it, we'd have to revise it anyway to make it fit every time they change
Oh,
it.
yeah.
So, but anyway, if you have things that you think need to be added or changed, let me know. We can always change those. Now, that's exactly the same, well, no, that's not. The next one is ordinance number 315-223, and this again is a result of 2023 budget ordinance, isn't it?
The budget for next year.
Our budget ordinance for next year, I'm sorry. So again, you have a copy of the summary that Sean has prepared. If you have questions about that, this is going to be our first reading of ordinance number 315-2023. I'm going to read it by topic only. It's an ordinance providing for the annual budget for the city of Critton to reflect projected revenues and expenditures through June 30, 2024. And then it sets forth various categories and the numbers which you see. It's for you to take a look at and for questions to be directed. If you have questions at this time, to our treasurer, or if you want to study it, and then come back with questions, whichever way you prefer to do it. But this is a first reading, no motions are needed.
What about street maintenance, Case Lane? What's that? 652.
So we're looking at the budget of all remaining funds and different issues in the city that we knew could come up that weren't being covered by current design packages and/or budget items. That was one. We might be able to.
And Case Lane is going to be a little bit of a special thing because we own the first 700, well, he's already gone, 700 feet or so, maybe 8. Then we own the north side for another few hundred feet. I don't think we get your house. I'm sorry, I think you're in the county. But we do, so we're going to have to work that out with the county as far as the paving, but Case Lane, I think, is in need of being looked at. So that's in there in the event we get a chance to bid that one this year.
That's just an odd street where it's 2 lanes and goes to 1, right, where everything happens.
Yeah.
All the apartments.
And then they're split in the middle, and they're down the middle of the road on the left side is part of it, yeah. So that's a contingency if we can get to it. Other questions at this point? Okay, another one for a first reading is 316-23, 2023.
To the budget.
Yes, go ahead.
Last year, I know I sat down with 2 council members and had an hour discussion, kind of going through this in the details. If that wants to be done again, I can. Just let me know. If you want to sit down and go through that, I have worksheets to provide as well, I can give you guys. So if you guys want to schedule a time, we can sit down and talk through it all in detail, if you'd like.
Just contact us and let us know when you'd like to come in if you want to. Next, ordinance number 316-2023, and again, I'll read it by topic only. It's an ordinance amending the code of ordinances of the city of Crittenden. And what it does is change the appeal time from 20 to 7 days. It's reducing it to 7 days because, again, that time has been changed by state law. So it is 7 days. So our ordinance needs to reflect what the state law says, and that's the reason for that one. Again, it's a first reading, so we don't need a motion on that, but if anybody has questions, we can entertain those now. Otherwise, we'll take it up again at our next meeting. Let's see. Mills Fence Company. Oh, yes. This isn't on your agenda there, but I wanted you to take a look at this. At the post office, excuse me, there are two items that have been, pardon me, two items that have been damaged. The first is on the fence that is furthest north, where you drive into it, a lady backed into it or drove into it and broke the post. That is gonna be around $700 and change, I can't remember the amount. I've sent that off with pictures and estimates and everything else to an insurance adjuster. I have not heard back anything from them. If you,
I have not, no.
so we'll have to follow that up. I sent that this week. So that's just for your information. Hopefully we'll get that one fixed at someone else's cost for having broken that one. The one which you have here on Mills Fence, the $1,100 one, is on this side of the post office. If you're driving, turn right on Saver Street on your immediate left, there's that rollback that sits there that the post office uses, and someone, and this, I think this has happened before, someone drove into it, broke the post, broke the gate, broke the hinge. Anyway, that's the bid to get it fixed. That is not covered by insurance because we didn't catch that person. We don't know who did that. Honestly, I think it was probably somebody delivering the mail, because they're also the ones that broke our sign up at the end of the road. But I can't prove that. So anyway, this would be at the city's expense. But I wanted you to see it. If no one has an objection, I'll go ahead and contract with Mills and get that fixed back so we can at least cover that rollback there and get the gates back in order. Everybody good with it? Okay, I'll do that. I don't know, yes, we did. We had talked about putting together something, just getting something started for rules and regulations for Crittenden Park. Then we have that, just a single sheet, front and back. That is a beginning. The only person or organization, I'll say, that's expressed an interest so far in making use of it to this point has been the church, Violet Ridge Church Christ. So I'm putting together this, getting the beginnings of something that we can use as a very broad outline for its use. And again, that's given to you for the purpose of asking you to look over it. If there's things that you see on there that you would like to have added, something you want to take off, I'd like to keep it as simple as we can. I want to encourage use rather than discourage use. So as simple as we can make it, I think would be better, but if you have things you'd like to add to it, please let me know. We can get them on there. Okay, moving to old business, we have an update on Duke. Michelle, you want to do that, or Sean want to do it, or we sent you copies of it, right?
Yeah, I know there's a couple emails going back and forth, but we might have discussed this at the last meeting, that the permit that we've been waiting for apparently was done last year, and we didn't get told. So now we're trying to expedite this.
It was done in July of 22. We found out last week or week before, I can't remember
Yeah.
which.
Yeah, we've been
Ridiculous.
sending out emails to our contacts on occasion, see what's going on, and last time I asked them, for state contacts, so we can help them push through, and it was done last
So we
summer.
found out it hadn't been done, so we've signed the contract now.
We signed it, but Duke has not signed it yet, so.
And sent it back, but they have to sign and get us a copy, so we'll keep you up when they do.
And we're doing the upfront payment, so that way there's no, we'll get the best benefit right away. So I know originally, before we knew what, if we were gonna have the extra funds to be able to pay for it, we had discussed the different options of splitting up the payment. But we'll be paying for it upfront, and that'll give us the best return on investment right away.
The cost dropped to 18,000 for 24, so, or 17,990 or whatever.
Right at
But we asked for a schedule, and then also, the order of,
process is which streets, how many lights, so no word yet. So when we get all that information, I'll provide it to you guys.
Okay. That completes, except for Mr. Kramer. Mr. Kramer, you had something you wish to address the city council. This was Mr. Jerry Kramer, asked to be added this evening, so.
I'm not even sure if this is the right form to ask, but I received a letter in the mail from garbage pickup.
Republic?
Will our sewage bills be going down? I called that number and they were unable to answer that. They said that's what the
Well,
city agreement.
we don't have anything to do with the sewage bill. The item on there that pertained to the trash will go away.
Okay,
But now the sewage bill itself, of course, we don't know.
right.
Yeah, but the item on trash will go away. Now, you will get a bill from the Republic directly
Yes.
for 3 months at a time. It's going to be around $45, $46. Is that right? Y'all-
Yes, they have a fuel charge in
Yeah,
there.
they spelled that out.
Is that, okay, that'll be a 3-month charge, and it'll be, of course, billed quarterly.
So the sewage bill will go down, but
And I can speak to that. I attended the meeting in regard to, you know, their billing of that particular item, and they wanted to get that removed from their billing, because again, folks received that and did not understand that trash was also included in that. So that was what they wanted to do, was kind of wipe their hands of that and get that off their bill. So the assumption is, like Jim's saying, that line item will come off for trash pickup, and you'll be going directly to Republic. And whatever, if the sewage bill is, you'll have to just look at your rates and things that you get, but that was the intent, was just to take that off as a line item, and remove any confusion that may be out there as far as how trash was actually billed and priced out, so.
and I have another question.
Sure.
In the last issue of the Grant County News, there was some new appointees to the city council.
Well, one, this young lady over here to my right,
Okay, it wasn't for, because I was going to ask about Steve Kellum.
that's on the ethics board, our ethics board, yes,
Steve Kellum is on the ethics board?
yes. He's one of them.
1 to 5.
One of how many?
5 plus an alternate.
Yes.
Yes.
Who appoints that?
Honestly, I can't remember if it's me or the council, but it was one of us. Do I do that?
I have a question about Steve Kellum. Is this the same Steve Kellum that was the jailer?
Yes,
He's on the ethics committee.
yes,
You do realize that Steve Kellum ran that jail down to very poor conditions. And you do realize that Steve Kellum hired people that were very incompetent, and the young man was raped in the jail, and it cost the insurance company billions of dollars. And he is someone that you would put on an ethics committee.
well,
Just a question.
yeah, I'm sure there's more to it than just that. But yes, he is on the ethics commission.
You all approve that.
I can't remember if those folks did or if I did it. It could have been a mayor's appointment, I don't recall it right offhand, but,
I think it's very poor judgment,
could
my
be.
opinion.
It could be, but it could have been, I don't remember if it was mine or not, but I would have made the appointment. I've known Mr. Keller for a long time. I know there's 2 sides to every story.
I understand that.
And I believe that he would do a very good job on the ethics commission.
He's also the pastor at Knoxville Baptist Church for the last 5 years too, so.
That means done.
Yeah, I understand that. And I grew up with Steve. Steve's a year older than I am, and we went to school together and actually lived close to each other. So I've known Steve longer probably than Jim has. So I understand where you're coming from, but also know the character of the man, so.
Yeah.
yeah.
Perhaps he's changed. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ben.
All right, thank you.
All right, anybody have anything else that they wish to discuss at this moment? Yes.
At some point, maybe the next meeting, we could add some agenda items. Public Service Commission update and anything new on our.
Oh, I can help update you as much as I can right now on the Public Service Commission. I spoke today with Jeff Mando, who is the insurance attorney, who's been employed to represent the city, and with Sebastian Torres, who is, of course, our attorney. There is a mediation hearing set for Friday. this Friday, before Judge Bates at, I think it's 9 o'clock, I can stand corrected on that, but I know there is a mediation hearing. We went over several items. We have another meeting scheduled by Zoom. Logan's gone, I was looking at him, with our engineer. I'm trying to set it for Thursday morning at 10 o'clock, so that everybody can attend, just to go over everything that's involved up to this point. What is involved, the problems that we're perceiving at this point is everyone who is an owner is not a party. And frankly, we're having some difficulty finding out what it is the plaintiff is trying to do. They're not speaking, they're not talking to us for some reason. So that's hopefully what mediation is going to address.
It's still moving forward.
It is, and hopefully we'll know something more Friday, but I doubt if we'll know a resolution, honestly.
And what was that topic?
Garrison, the lawsuit by Mr. Garrison, who's a member of Harvester Subdivision, involving the dam.
I misunderstood. So it was a PSC in regards to the district's inquiry of increasing rates and all, or is it actually the dam that the meetings are about?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was taking the Garrison matter, not the PSC matter.
No, I was thinking of the Southern Service Commission.
I misunderstood you. You're
Yeah.
interested in PSC, thanks.
No problem. I'm a little confused now since
Okay, on PSC, at this moment, on that one, there's been nothing further than the committee report. You got a copy of the committee report,
Yes.
right? There's been nothing further. I did talk to, again, I spoke to Sebastian yesterday, I think it was, on that matter. And on that particular thing, it has to be scheduled now for a full PSC hearing. And it will be at that hearing that the issues that we have identified be addressed. But they have not yet been addressed. The only thing that's happened to this point is the staff recommendations concerning the rate. Now, to this point, staff has recommended an increase greater than has been requested.
So that makes us the most expensive in the state.
But
That was
that's
for water and sewer, or just sewer? That was just sewer.
That is just for sewer. Yes, I apologize, I was talking.
Well, I was trying to follow this rabbit hole we were
No.
going on.
Much as I wanted to clarify which one we're
I was
talking
getting both
about.
lawsuits involved, but yes, you're right,
Okay.
that's the PSC matter, yes.
Okay. Very good.
Okay,
Any good news on our joint marketing agreement here on
nothing further. Now, you do know that that hearing is set for the 11th at 7 o'clock right here. The
Board of
meeting.
Adjustments.
I'm sorry,
Board of Adjustments.
Board of
meeting?
Adjustments meeting at 11 o'clock here, or 7 o'clock here on the 11th. So we'll know something at least on that portion of it. You all know what we're talking about with this? Okay. There has been a request filed with the Board of Adjustments for a conditional use permit on the portion of the property that borders Violet Road that runs back a distance of about 143 feet, that is owned by Mr. Sidner and Mr. Worthington, that portion of the property.
Okay.
The people who are contract purchasers at this point are trying to get a QP, quota package license through the state. They have made that application, I believe, because we've been contacted by the state.
Yes.
We have not responded to the state yet because we have not yet had our Board of Adjustments meeting. Our Board of Adjustments is meeting to consider that on the 11th at 7 o'clock in this room. It's been advertised in the paper twice. The people, surrounding people have received letters. Everybody is invited to attend. It's a public hearing. Everyone is welcome and free to come and hopefully make comments if you wish.
That's on the side where the old car lot was.
I couldn't hear you.
On the opposite side of the road, on this side of Violet Road.
On the left-hand side, yeah, going down the road, it's across from the car line, yes.
You say the 11th, you mean the day after tomorrow, 11th?
Thursday.
Yes.
At 7 p.m. This room.
Does that go all the way up to the city owns a little portion? by
The
the
city
town?
owns a portion that's further south. The
So
city doesn't
there's-
own any of the portion that's under
There's something in
consideration.
between there that.
Yeah.
But it may have impact.
It would have impact,
Yeah.
honestly. And so you're welcome to take a look at what's been filed, the request. They may have questions on it. I'll try to answer the best I can now. but it would impact what the city owns, depending upon what this decision would be. I can tell you that they're looking at, they have proposed a convenience type store, I believe it's 6 additional gasoline pumps in front of it, 6 or 8, I can't recall right offhand, but I know there's 6, I think it's 6, that they would be selling things, convenience type items, as I understand it. And of course, packaged liquor. The packaged liquor, I believe, is the real thing that's really driving the whole thing more than the gasoline. But the thing that is of concern to me is that they're also proposing building a wall on the southernmost portion of this lot, which would allow for fill without having to level the entire area. That, I believe, would be something that would impact the property that the city still owns. Again, it's open for public comment if anybody wishes to appear and state that. You're more than welcome to do so, or any other things that matters that might come up at that hearing. Okay,
Thank you.
sir. Anything else?
Can I clarify, the first comments about mediation this Friday, is that for the dam, the lawsuit?
That is about the dam. Yes, almost everything I told you that was supposed to be PSC is actually about the dam mediation.
Perfect, thank you, gotcha. So this is the Garrison lawsuit?
Yeah, it's same lawyers involved, different players.
Next. Next.
Okay, anything else?
We're gonna meet in 2 weeks?
Now, do you want to meet in 2 weeks about these bids, or do you want to waive that 2 weeks and come back in a month? The floor's open for you. If you want to come back sooner, you can do it on a special meeting if you wish to. It's your all's decision as to how you want to proceed from this point. I would like to give our engineers at least a couple, 3 days to take a look at this stuff and give us the best recommendation they can. But other than that, whatever you want to do.
We need to meet because
Yeah,
if this is a
for
project's
timeline.
done for the end of the year. I mean, but we'll give them enough time to go over what they.
And that was my next question, could they get all that finished as far as making the recommendations before the 2-week timeline?
I would certainly hope that they
Okay.
would, but they would let us know, I assume, if they can. But- So 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing? Everybody's good with that? We need a motion to adjourn until, that would be the 30th, is that, I'm sorry? 23rd.
7 p.m.
23rd at 7 p.m. Who's making that motion?
I'll make that.
Okay, motion by Greg, second by Leo. Those in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you. We're adjourned until the 23rd at 7 p.m.